2024 has been an incredible year for AI, but what can we expect in 2025? I think it's going to blow our socks off. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is autonomous agents. And we've seen with Google's 2.0, the big leap into agentic AI, that agents are on the horizon. And they're out there already, but I think in 2025, agents are going to be what makes the difference. But let's have a look at what agents are and how they might affect what we're doing in 2025. So AI agents are different to assistants. So if you think about, we talk a lot about AI assistants. So I type in something, ask ChatGPT to come back with an answer. It's acting like an assistant. An agent is different. It works autonomously. Yes, there is some prompting that goes into it, but it will sit there. It will do a specific task, look for data, wait for something to change, make decisions, decide to send data on to another agent, collaborate, and then carry out some action completely autonomously without a human having to engage with it and tell it to, okay, now do that thing. It will do it itself. That's what's really interesting about agents. So think about it in terms of things like customer care. So a customer sends in a complaint about something, and currently it will come to a human. A human says, okay, we need to send a refund, or we need to send an envelope so they can send the product back, etc. Well, actually, the agent could do all of that itself. It could assess the complaint. It could produce the envelope. It could send a response back to the customer, all happening without any human interaction at all. It has taken on that whole activity. Or think about inventory management. So the agent is checking a stock level. It decides that a stock level has fallen below a particular amount. It knows information about how long it takes to get the stock in. It makes the order at the right time to make sure the stock levels stay at a certain level. Now, those things are there already. There are tools out there that do those sorts of things already. But think about having multiple agents working for you 24 hours a day at a minimum cost and doing all of these tasks for you in a way that you would currently have to employ humans for. This is where agents can make an enormous difference. And I think in 2025, we're going to see agents working in all of our businesses. Autonomous agents are poised to become a daily part of our lives. These AI-driven entities will be able to perform tasks independently. They'll be able to schedule meetings, manage complex projects, enhance efficiency across loads of different scenarios. And beyond working autonomously, they also collaborate with each other. So you might have one agent going off, finding a bit of information, checking for an update of an information. And then once it gets that information, it passes on to another agent that then takes some action that then passes that action on and posts it in various different places to inform the world, for instance. So think about them as hundreds and hundreds of these different agents doing different tasks, working collaboratively to make something happen over a long period of time, learning and improving from what they do each time they do it. The next area I want to think about for 2025, and we'll see whether this happens. So currently AI is used as a sort of organizational tool. We use it to try and improve what we do and how we do it. So that's one thing, a set of tools. Will we find in 2025, or will it push on into 26 and 27, will we find organizations organizing themselves around AI? Will AI affect organizational strategy? Will it redefine our business structures? Will we organize our businesses to make them work effectively, to make them integrate effectively with AI? Or will they remain just a tool that our current business structures use? Will we change how the boardroom looks when it can be driven by AI inspired data? When it can be, when our activities are organized by machines rather than necessarily us as individuals? I think all of these create some really interesting questions about how our hierarchies will operate going into the future. Now, there is no doubt there'll be some organizations that there are some organizations out there already that have been around for 400 years and have not changed one iota despite the change in technology. But will AI push some institutions, some organizations to completely reimagine how they operate? I think it might, and it'll be really interesting to see how that develops. Think about AI providing strategic insight, say in a retail industry, being able to forecast consumer trends in a way that we can't do now, and making decisions based on that, and actually making those in a rather autonomous way. What does that mean for a boardroom, for an executive trying to navigate their organization when quite a lot of the big decisions, the big planning, the strategic planning is being done by a machine? It's going to create some issues. It's going to create some opportunities. Really interesting to see what that looks like. We've talked on this channel a number of times about the threat of AI replacing work and replacing individuals' work. And while I think there is clearly a risk of that, but especially for repetitive tasks, tasks that can be done by really effectively by machines and don't require the human input, then I think those tasks we might see disappear. But of course, the really exciting thing about the large language models and generative AI is that they can move into areas that were previously felt to be only things that humans could do. Think about the creativity side of things. So what does that mean for a workforce, for a human AI partnership within a workforce? So I strongly believe that while I think we will see some jobs go, actually the threat to work is not from AI, it's from people who know how to use AI. So I think the risk is falling behind and falling away. And I think we will see companies that are able to grasp this technology and really use the strength of this technology to drive their businesses forward that will take over bits of the economy. And those industries that are slow, that fall behind, will be left behind and will go out of business. And that's where we'll see the shift in workplace, not from AI, but from people who know how to use AI effectively. I think we'll also see that sort of performance optimization, that efficiency gains that we get from AI. And what will that do to the structures of organizations? Will it change the amount of people we need in certain areas and shift them to other areas? Will it increase the use of automation? I would think so. I would hope so. Increase the use of automation to make things to reduce risk and to improve efficiency. So all of those things I think businesses are going to have to wrestle with. And I think it's not something to be scared of. It's an opportunity to be grasped, but they need to start having that conversation about how is this technology? What is it going to mean for my business, the way I work in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? I think if they wait for 5 years, it might be too late. Okay, so multi-day video. So new jumper, slightly red nose because I've had a cold and slightly croaky voice, but let's carry on. So the next thing I think we might see a lot more of in 2025 is AI-driven personalization. And what will that look like? Now, I think we already see some of this, but if you think about if you're using your streaming service, as you put in your preferences, you say what you like and what you don't like, it automatically then changes what it suggests for you. When you are shopping online, it will look at what you have bought previously, bought a few months ago, and say, oh, you might want to buy this again. So it's making sort of sensible suggestions based on what your previous activity's been. Think about a what a learning platform might look like that it is properly driven by AI. So not just AI that is delivering something that is pre-planned, but AI that is listening to what the student is asking and then moving the student's learning in a direction to meet the needs that the student has, or assessing and then teaching to the gaps rather than teaching a whole subject, understanding where a student needs to learn, and then focusing in on that area rather than blithely just teaching a whole program. If we can get AI to if we can get AI to support people with their learning, to give them products and services that is exactly what they want at that time, we can narrow down the amount of time people take in choosing a product, in searching for the right thing that they want to buy, or service they want to consume, or indeed we can focus on the bit of learning that they specifically need rather than teaching a whole program to them. In the education field, I still think there's a lot for education to catch up on in terms of the use of AI. But certainly some of their market leaders, Duolingo, for instance, really great way of learning a language, and does a lot of testing through short, sharp assessments that are fun to do. I identifies where the gaps are, identifies what you know and where the gaps are, and then teaches the gaps. Really clever way, really effective way of learning. Think about putting that to a degree course, or to a school course, or anything in particular that has a skill or competency requirement. So you can do a competency assessment and then teach to the gaps rather than having to teach absolutely everything. And some of that learning is redundant because the person already knows it or has already mastered that particular skill or competence. One of the areas where personalization could become enormous, and I'm really interested to see how this will progress in the next year or so, is in the area of healthcare. So being able to craft specific medicines, or amounts of medicines, concentrations, etc., for a specific individual, taking account of all of the data that you might have on that individual. And that data might be live data from a Fitbit or a watch like this, something like that. Might be taking all of that information and then deciding, actually, this person's temperature's up, so we could add some other drug in to try and stabilize the temperature a bit, those sorts of things. Being able to monitor lots of different bits of data and potentially predict an event likely to happen. I was talking to a colleague of mine who is a heart surgeon, who felt that you could significantly reduce the amount of serious heart problems that people have by monitoring blood pressure regularly, temperature, your heart rate, etc., and by understanding those patterns, be able to predict before a serious event happened and be able to intervene at that point. AI will allow us to be able to do that over the next year. I think it's probably already there now, but maybe the tools that engage the AI with the human will become more available. That would be really exciting. And think how it could improve the health, just the welfare of a nation, if you can start to bring this technology to bear. Okay, so the next area where I think we will see a big change in 2025 is the economic impacts of AI. So we've seen enormous investments in AI from the likes of Microsoft and Amazon, etc., and from people like Elon Musk. So there's enormous amount of money going into the products, and I think 2025 and 2026 are likely to be pivot years when industry really gets to grips with this new technology and starts investing big time in embedding the technology within industries. I fear if they don't, they're likely to be caught out, and new challenger industries uh, will appear that are driven by AI, that are based on AI, and those industries that are slow to participate we may start seeing some of those industries just fall by the wayside as new, more efficient, more effective competitors enter the market. I think at the moment, while there's been obviously a lot of this investment's been going into the sector, the sort of global GDP impacts have still been relatively modest. But I think that we will start seeing that accelerate over the next couple of years. Uh, an area, for example, where I think there could be enormous improvement, banking and finance, where AI could give far better uh, personalized services to clients. I think AI could be used to predict market shifts more effectively. And I think AI could be used to detect fraud much more effectively. And think about those three areas where, in that one sector, the sector could become enormously more efficient, reduce its losses significantly, and make winning bets on investments much more effectively. And those institutions that are left behind are not that efficient, not that good at doing their job. They'll just get left behind. And even in areas that are more traditional, if you think about farming, AI driven drones that are taking out weeds in a precision way, using less chemicals, making our food more organic, more able to be consumed, produced at a much lower cost and higher yields, using the technology to uh, better predict weather, the weather impact on crops, etc., to better diagnose illnesses in animals and give them the correct nutrients and food supplements, etc. All of those things are possible. I think they might take some time to become widely used, but could have tremendous impact on both the efficiency and the effectiveness of a sector like agriculture. But of course, there might be some downsides to all of this. It becoming incredibly efficient probably means less people working in those particular roles. People are generally inefficient. They only work for a certain amount of hours a day. They need feeding, etc. Whereas if you can find an AI response to that requirement, then you release that cost. So we need to think really carefully about how we make sure that there's an equitable distribution of the benefits of this new technology. We're also going to need to upskill enormously our populations to both understand how to use, but also how to make the most out of this technology. And I think that's a real challenge for people in the education system like myself, where we need to get out there, talk to people, develop that literacy around AI. And that's part of what this channel's about, developing the literacy around AI and then upskilling people so that they can take these tools and start embedding them in their lives and gaining the efficiencies themselves to release them to do the things that only humans can do. And at the moment, I think that is about being creative, about being human, about understanding intelligence, not artificial intelligence, real intelligence. I talked about that with my colleague, Professor Siraj Sheikh, in one of my earlier videos about focusing us on those things that are very specifically human, those interactions that mean so much to us, and hopefully AI giving us the space to do much more of that. I think also the economic impacts will be where we probably see the requirements for an ethical approach to AI will be really needed, and it will require leadership of people saying, yes, let's use this technology, let's use it really effectively, but no, not at the cost of the individual and the human and the creativity and our communities. And having that conversation regularly will be really, really important. Okay, so as we stand on the edge of 2025, I picked out four areas there where I think AI is going to make a difference in 2025 and going on into 2026. So I think we will start to see the deployment of autonomous agents to do work for us and on our behalf, and I'm excited to see what that might bring. I think organizations are going to have to think about their strategy, think about how they embed AI and what that means for their decision making processes, what that means for their organizational structures, their hierarchies, etc. I think this will be a challenge that leaders have to face going forward in 2025, 2026. I think the opportunities around personalization, whether that is in your experiences as a consumer or as uh, 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 your experiences as a producer of goods and services, I think AI will start to see a much bigger impact in those areas, and it'd be really important that businesses are keeping up with it and that consumers have the tools and skills and knowledge available to be able to gain the benefits of those new services. And then finally, I think we will start to see AI really start to impact on our communities and on our economies, and hopefully in a positive way, as industry, as government becomes more efficient and more effective at providing services. It should be able to release people to do more of those human things that make us who we are. We need to ensure that we've got the leadership in our communities to ensure that AI is delivered in an equitable way, that not to the detriment of a large group of people and to the benefit of a small group of people, but to the wider benefit of everyone in society. I'm really excited about this technology. As you can see, if you watch this video, if you watch these videos regularly, you know this stuff excites me. I think it's really important. I'm frustrated by the fact that parts of people I speak to are dismissive of the technology, who don't see the benefits and are waiting for it to move forward. I fear they're going to get left behind. I fear their industries are going to get left behind, and suddenly they're going to wake up and go, oh, this thing has appeared as a competitor. We can't compete with it. It's so far ahead of us. We're so far behind. And we will see the demise of products and services that we all know and love. And there'll be those that really grasp the nettle and put the investment in of time and some money, yes, but of time in particular, to really get to understand the technology and find out how it can make their organizations more efficient, make their customer experience more delightful. If we can do that, then I think there's a really positive place for even the most traditional of our industries. I hope you've enjoyed that video. Put a comment down below and tell me what you think. What you think we can expect in 2025 and 2026 with regard to AI. Is it all going to fizzle out? Am I just getting excited over nothing? Is it something that is going to continue to be a very techie thing and not going to impact us in our everyday lives, or have I got it absolutely right and I'm underplaying how quickly all this is going to happen? Let me know what you think. It'd be really good to have a conversation. I've been the Professor. Catch you soon. Bye bye.